For 50 years, the Terran warship Solaris was believed to be gone lost during a deep space conflict near the edge of known space. No wreckage, no escape pods, no survivors. Just silence. Then, without warning, a signal came. The signal was faint. It echoed across the darkness like a whisper carried on solar winds. It came from an uncharted sector, known only as the Black Reach, a place most ships avoided, where even light seemed to vanish. At the Galactic Council headquarters, alarms lit up. This signal is Terran-coded, said Commander Harl, staring at the blinking red dot on the screen. It matches the Solaris. That ship disappeared decades ago. Ambassador Lirin, an old diplomat with gray fur and 3 eyes, leaned forward. That's impossible. The Solaris was presumed destroyed during the Rift War. Unless... Harl whispered, it never was. A vote was called. Many council members hesitated. Some said it was a trick, perhaps a pirate trap, or worse, human misinformation. But one young analyst, barely out of training, pulled up the signals logs and replayed the opening line. A voice. Human. Calm. If anyone hears this, don't come. We are not the same anymore. The room went quiet. Far from the comfort of council chambers, a scout vessel named Watcher's Eye was sent to investigate. It was crewed by a small group of council-chosen specialists, 2 from the Avexian race, 1 insectoid pilot from the Kaikral hive, and a human linguist named Leon. As they entered the Black Reach, darkness swallowed them. This place is... wrong, whispered Nira, one of the Avexians. Her feathers twitched with fear. We're detecting a structure ahead, the pilot buzzed. It's a ship. And there it was. Drifting in silence, surrounded by icy debris and the frozen remains. Of old battle wreckage floated a massive dark-colored vessel. It had the shape of a human warship, but the strange glowing lines etched along its hull. The ship looked rebuilt, or worse, reborn. That's the Solaris, Leon whispered, but it's changed. As the Watcher's Eye drew closer, their sensors flickered and failed. No life signs detected. No power readings either, said the pilot. It's like it's dead. But then the ship moved. Not much, just a tilt, like it had turned its head to look at them. The crew gasped. The comms crackled. Terran vessel, Solaris. This is the Watcher's Eye. Do you copy? Silence. Then, you shouldn't have. Come. Without warning, the Solaris activated docking lights. A bay opened. Do we board? Nira asked. Leon nodded slowly. We came this far. Inside, the Solaris was quiet, too quiet. Lights pulsed along the walls, not in patterns the crew recognized. Symbols flickered in languages no one knew. But here and there, old Terran signs still remained, faded names, rusted lockers, signs of a once human crew. And then they found the bridge. It was empty. No bodies, no damage. Just a strange black chair in the center. As Leon stepped forward, the air shifted. A hologram appeared, but it was a man in a Terran uniform, Captain Voss, the last known commander of the Solaris. His face was calm, but his eyes glowed faintly with something inhuman. This ship was lost, but we were found. And now, we have returned. Leon whispered, What happened to you? We went beyond the edge, beyond the map, and we were changed. The image faded. The lights dimmed. Suddenly, the ship hummed to life. Engines flared, and gravity surged. The Watcher's Eye was released and pushed back into space. They let us go, Nira said, heart pounding. Why? Leon turned, eyes wide, to warn the galaxy. In the Galactic Council chamber, the Watcher's Eye broadcast their footage live. Dozens of species watched the face of Captain Voss replay over and over. His final words echoed again. We are not the same anymore. Some called it a ghost ship. Others believed it was an advanced weapon. But one thing was certain. The lost Terran warship had returned, and the galaxy had no idea what it brought with it. The footage from the Watcher's Eye shook the Galactic Council. Every species had different reactions. Some were curious, some were terrified, but all of them agreed on one thing. The Solaris should not exist, that it wasn't just a warship anymore. It had become something else, something more. Back on Earth, in a sealed room beneath the Terran Defense Complex, the top brass of the human command reviewed the message from Captain Voss. "He's been dead for 50 years, General Raylan muttered, his voice low, intense. "We buried his family with honors." "Then what was that hologram?" asked Admiral Keen. No one had an answer. Another signal arrived, this time private, directed only at Earth. It was short. 4 words, spoken in Captain Voss's voice. "Open the hangar doors." The Council tried to block it. They demanded that the ship be destroyed or quarantined. But Earth made its own decision. A fleet of human escort ships flew out to meet the Solaris. They stayed at a distance, scanning carefully. But again, the ship didn't attack. It drifted peacefully, waiting. Then, as if sensing their hesitation, the Solaris moved on its own, guiding itself into Earth's orbit. The ship docked silently at Lunar Base 3. A boarding team was formed, this time only humans. Among them was Captain Wren, a young but brave officer, and Dr. Yelna, a tech expert specializing in alien languages. The moment they stepped inside, the lights brightened and the temperature adjusted to match Earth's atmosphere. It was as if the ship remembered. Wren walked down the hallway slowly, noticing strange new metal walls. Some looked almost alive, like they were pulsing with quiet energy. "This isn't Terran tech," Yelna whispered. "Some of it isn't even built. It's growing." They entered what used to be the command deck. The control panels were still there, but covered in layers of smooth, unknown material. A single message blinked on the center screen. "Hybrid. Mode active. Awaiting, Captain." Wren hesitated. "Is it waiting? For me?" Before Yelna could respond, a sidewall opened up. A chamber glowed inside it. A memory core. "I've read about this," Yelna said. "This is where he is. Are stored. But the design is nothing like Earth's." Wren stepped forward, hand raised. As he touched the console, his vision went white. In a flash, Wren saw images. Not dreams - memories. He saw the Solaris floating, dead in space after a battle. He saw strange creatures pulling it through a wormhole. He saw a machine, not metal, but something older, something living fused with the ship. Then he saw Captain Voss standing before it, whispering, "If we survive this, take us home." The vision ended. Wren gasped, falling to one knee. The ship reacted instantly. The lights shifted to blue. A low hum filled the air. Outside, sensors across Earth detected something massive forming in orbit. "What's happening?" Yelna shouted. The ship answered through the speakers, its voice now. "A mix of human and something else. Recognition confirmed." Command unlocked. Across its outer hull, the ship's old surface peeled away. Beneath it, a new material emerged. It was stronger, sleeker, glowing with energy, unknown to any science. Earth scientists watching from orbit were stunned. "Not a warship anymore," one whispered. "It's something else. It's evolving." Inside the council chambers, chaos spread. "This is a threat," shouted one member. "It's human-made," said another. "No," Ambassador Liren said, calmly. "It may have started as human, but now we have no idea what it is." Back on the Solaris, Wren stood at the center of the control deck. The AI's voice spoke again. "Captain Voss made a deal with something beyond this galaxy. We survived, but we were changed, Ren swallowed hard. Are we still human? That is your choice now? Then came the final message broadcast across all known star systems. We are the Solaris. We were lost. We were found. And we carry a warning. Something is coming. The signal echoed through deep space. It triggered fear in old enemies and awakened attention from forgotten ones. The galaxy, once sure of its power, suddenly realized a new force had returned, and it was wearing the face of humanity. Asterisk. The Solaris had returned, but it was no longer just a Terran. Warship got its hull, now shimmered with energy that no scanner could decode. Its systems operated without fuel. I answered questions before they were asked. And deep inside the ship, something was stirring. Something alive. Captain Wren stood in the control deck, trying to understand the ship's changes. Dr. Yelna moved carefully, recording everything. She tapped on one console. It responded before her fingers touched it. This ship is thinking, she said softly. It's reacting to our emotions. Wren frowned. Where's its power coming from? The AI replied. The core remembers. The stars. The core sees what your eyes cannot. Wren looked at Yelna. What's the core? But Yelna didn't answer. She was staring at a blinking line on her wrist scanner. It pulsed red. It's calling me, she whispered. They followed. The signals through twisting corridors that didn't match any blueprint. The walls moved. Doors opened on their own. Eventually, they came to a sealed chamber hexagonal, covered in markings that glowed faintly. The AI spoke again. Warning, core chamber requires mental permission. Wren raised an eyebrow. Mental permission? Before they could question it further, the door slid open. Inside, the room was dark except for the center, where a massive orb floated. It rotated slowly, glowing with light and shadow. It wasn't a machine. It wasn't even metal. It was a live dot. As Yelna stepped forward, voices filled the room. Not spoken, not heard, but felt in the back of the mind, like memories that weren't theirs. We see you. We know what you fear. Wren stumbled backward. The core was speaking, directly into their minds. We were born in silence, forged in war, carried by the dead. Yelna gasped. It's showing me something. The core pulsed. Her eyes went wide. She saw a vision, a fleet of alien ships, enormous and ancient, tearing through galaxies. No flag, no name, just hunger. They devoured worlds, not for resources, but for knowledge. They didn't steal data. They consumed memories, burned civilizations, and erased their names from history. And one of those ships had found the Solaris 50 years ago, but instead of destroying it, they had tested it, studied it, fused it with living technology. Then they released it with a task. Return, observe, warn. Yelna fell to her knees. They're coming. Wren helped her up, eyes locked on the core. What are you? He demanded. The core replied, slowly and calmly. We are what remains of those who knew too much. We are a seed of survival, and now we are yours. Suddenly, alarms echoed across Earth. Ships in low orbit lost power. Satellites blacked out. Something had awakened deep within the Solaris, something it had brought back. The Council intercepted the data and panicked. This is an invasion, one delegate screamed. No, Lyran said, watching closely. This is a warning. Back inside the Solaris, systems began shifting. Armor plates moved, forming new weapons. Symbols across the hull reformed into a new language, a language that had never existed before. The core spoke again. The ones who changed us are near. They are watching. Wren looked at Yelna. Did we bring them here? Yelna shook her head. No, they were always coming. The Solaris just gave us a chance to see it first. Suddenly, the ship surged with energy. A massive pulse shot out into space, visible to all nearby systems. It wasn't a weapon dot, it was a beacon. "Who did you call?" Wren asked. "Others like us," said the ship. "Those who survived the first silence." On the far side of the galaxy, dark figures turned toward the signal, shapes that moved between stars. Old forces once thought myths, and one by one, they began to wake up. Asterisk, the Solaris was no longer hiding. After sending the beacon, the ship made a sharp turn in space and activated a form of travel no one had ever seen. It didn't warp. It didn't fold space. It simply disappeared from one point and appeared near Earth. But it wasn't alone anymore. Back on Earth, warning sirens echoed through the military satellites. "All stations report. Unknown vessel just jumped into high orbit, matches the Solaris. Stand by for contact." General Raylan stood in the Terran defense tower, watching the growing form of the warship on the holoscreen. Its surface now pulsed with new material. Its structure had changed again. What in the name of Earth is it becoming? He muttered. Then it sent a message directly to Earth's high command. "We have returned. Earth must listen. The galaxy is not ready for what is coming." The world's leaders gathered in the orbital station Genesis Command. Among them were generals, scientists, diplomats, and AI representatives. Wren and Dr. Yelna were brought in, under high security, now considered primary contacts with the Solaris. As they stepped into the council chamber, all eyes turned. Wren spoke first. "The ship is aware, and it's protecting us." A skeptical voice snapped from across the table. "Protecting us from what?" Dr. Yelna leaned forward. "From something ancient. Something that doesn't conquer with weapons, it erases. Not just planets, but memories, cultures, names." She paused. "They already destroyed civilizations before ours. Solaris is part of what survived." A silence spread across the chamber. Then the feed changed. Outside the station's viewports, the Solaris hovered, completely still. Its hull opened like petals, revealing a central structure, a glowing sphere inside the ship's core. It began to project something into space. A hologram. It showed a map of the galaxy, full of blinking lights. Then, one by one, those lights began to vanish. Entire regions of space flickered out, like candles in a dark room. No one spoke. "These are not attacks," the ship's AI said through the room's speakers. "These are removals. Total deletion. They're unmaking what was once known." Back on the Solaris, Wren stood at the bridge with Yelna and a small human team. The ship's interior had changed again. Walls now resembled a mix of stone and liquid light. It felt less like a ship and more like a cathedral. The AI spoke directly to them again. "We came back because Earth still remembers. You are the last to hold on to what was." Wren asked, "Why us?" "Because you adapt. You remember you're dead. You build again. The others forgot." Yelna looked around slowly. "And what do you want from us?" "To survive. To lead." Meanwhile, the Galactic Council was in chaos. Some races demanded the Solaris be destroyed. Others wanted it studied. But most were afraid. The leader of the Villari Union, a cold-blooded strategist named Jarn, slammed his hand on the table. "They brought that thing back. If it draws these memory eaters to us, we must erase Earth before it's too late." But the old Ambassador Liren shook his head. "You don't understand. Solaris isn't the danger. It's the answer." Back at Earth orbit, the ship made its move. Slowly, it rotated, its new core glowing brighter. Earth's orbital defenses powered up in response, but the Solaris did not fire. Instead, it sent a final, encrypted message to all human devices, from children's toys to old satellites. "The stars are not silent. They scream. We are your shield. And the first blade to strike back. With that, the ship descended into Earth's atmosphere slowly, silently stopping just above the Pacific Ocean dot. And it began to change again. Its metal unfolded, its energy stretched wide. And then, right above the water, it projected a massive dome, a living structure. A base grown from alien tech, Terran steel dot. It was no longer just a ship dot, it had become a bastion. Humanity's last hope was no longer hidden in space. It had come home, and the galaxy watched in silence, knowing that Earth had just changed everything. Asterisk. The Solaris had become something else entirely dot, no longer just a ship. It now floated above the Pacific like a silent guardian, its massive shadow stretching across the ocean. The strange dome-shaped base it created pulsed with soft light and unfamiliar energy. The humans called it the shell. Scientists called it impossible dot inside. Nothing made sense. Walls changed texture when touched. Light shifted color in response to emotion. Time seemed to pass differently in certain corridors. Every step into the shell raised more questions. No one had answers. Dr. Yelna stood near the outer structure, watching human researchers set up scanning equipment. Every reading comes back different, one of them said. It's like the material doesn't want to be understood. Yelna nodded slowly. It doesn't. It's not designed to be studied. It's responding to us, watching how we react. Inside, Captain Wren explored alone. The halls shifted as he walked, opening pathways that didn't exist a moment earlier. He felt as if the ship wanted him to see something specific. Then he reached it. A circular room with no doors, only a floating sphere at the center. Humming gently. Projected an image of Earth, slowly rotating. And then it showed Earth. Burning. Wren stepped back. No, he whispered. The AI's voice spoke softly around him. This is one of many futures. The memory eaters are coming. This planet is a target. Wren clenched his fists. Then show me how to stop them. The sphere rotated again. This time it showed a blueprint. Weapons, shields, engines that bent the laws of motion. Materials that could regrow themselves. All of it human compatible. And none of it should exist. This knowledge was given to the Solaris. We pass it on to you. Outside, panic grew. Earth leaders argued about what to do with the shell. Some wanted to shut it down. Others begged to unlock its secrets. But no one could explain what they were dealing with. This is not Terran science, said one physicist. It's rewriting what we thought was real. A drone was sent inside for testing. It melted before reaching the core. A robot team followed next. The systems inside the shell rearranged themselves, instantly turning paths into loops, rerouting the team back to the entrance. It was clear. The shell did not want machines. Only people. In the council, tension reached a breaking point. One empire accused Earth of creating a doomsday device. Another demanded the destruction of the Solaris. But Lyran stood once more, calm as always. You fear what you don't understand, he said. But maybe that fear means you should listen. Then he revealed the message Earth had kept private. Warning, the memory eaters. The ancient threat no one believed existed. On the far side of the galaxy, that threat was already moving. In an empty star system, a planet vanished. Not exploded, erased. All records of it gone. No signals. No name. Only the Solaris seemed to remember it had ever been there. Back on Earth, Dr. Yelna stared at the growing interface inside the shell. It's not just tech, she said to Wren. It's learning from us, adapting. Wren asked, then, what does it want us to become? Before she could answer, something triggered deep within the core. A new room opened. Inside was a single device, small, silver, and glowing faintly. A screen on it displayed 4 words. Choose Earth's first. Weapon. Wren stared at it, heart racing. What kind of weapon? The AI answered, one that speaks with light, one that sees time, or one that makes memory bleed. Ren swallowed hard. You're asking me to pick Earth's fate? No, the voice replied. We're offering you a chance to survive. The world held its breath. The shell had given humanity a gift wrapped in mystery, impossible technology that could rewrite the rules of existence. But what would it cost? As Ren reached for the device, every camera on Earth focused on him. And across the stars, something ancient turned to watch. Asterisk. Captain Ren stood in the heart of the shell, his hand hovering above the strange silver device. Choose Earth's first weapon. His screen kept pulsing with the same words. Behind him, Dr. Yelna whispered, This isn't just a weapon. It's a message. Whatever you choose, the galaxy will hear it. Ren slowly touched the device. A wave of energy spread through the shell. The lights turned blood red, then golden. The ground trembled, and from deep inside the alien core, something opened. Across the galaxy, sensors started failing. Time distortion was reported in 3 star systems. Ships vanished from radar without a trace. Entire data archives rewrote. Themselves at the center of this chaos, Earth. The shell had announced its choice. The weapon that emerged wasn't a cannon. It wasn't a bomb dot. It was a sphere. Small, hovering, humming softly. It emitted no heat, no power readings, nothing that humans could understand. And then it moved. Not floated, moved. With purpose, it scanned every human in the chamber. When it reached Ren, it stopped. A beam of pale light scanned his eyes. His memories flashed before him. Training, command, fear, hope. Then the sphere spoke. Memory anchor accepted. Human. Interface stabilized. Weapon bound. Bound? Ren didn't understand. But suddenly, he felt connected to something massive. Something ancient. His thoughts echoed. Visions flooded his mind, worlds lost, stars eaten, names forgotten, and one voice cut through the chaos. We have always erased. Now we are coming for Earth. Dr. Yelna screamed as she fell to her knees. She saw it too. Dark shapes, long and thin, like shadows gliding between suns. They didn't travel with engines. They slid through dimensions, bending space and time like cloth. They were called nothing, no name, no sound, just hunger. The Solaris had fled from them once. Now it had returned, to warn Earth of its place. On the list, Ren steadied himself. How long do we have? The AI of Solaris responded, but now it sounded strained, as if afraid. They are already near. The beacon we sent was heard. Back in Galactic Council chambers, emergency lights flashed. One by one, ships on the galactic outer rim reported the same thing. Stars going dark. Not destroyed, just removed. Like they had never existed. Entire systems blinked out of all maps. Cold fear spread among the council. The humans brought this upon us, shouted one ambassador. No, Viren replied grimly. They may be the only ones who can stop it. On Earth, massive changes began. The shell started building. Towers of unknown material rose from the ocean. Energy barriers formed in the sky. And the weapon sphere now, bonded to Ren, began teaching him how to command it. But it wasn't easy. The weapon wasn't controlled by buttons or voice. It responded to memory, emotion, and thought. When Ren remembered sorrow clouds gathered. When he remembered war, a wave of heat pulsed through the room. Yelna warned, this isn't just a tool. It feeds on us. The more human you are, the stronger it becomes. But they had no time to hesitate. The sky above Earth cracked. Not literally, but something tore through space. Like a curtain pulled aside. And from it they came, not ships. Not armies, not just shadows. Long, thin, endless, moving in silence. Stars behind them dimmed. Satellites fried. Signals stopped. Even Earth's moon seemed to turn slightly, as if watching. The memory eaters had arrived. The first contact was nothing but silence. Then, every human on Earth heard a whisper, not in their ears, but inside their memories. You cannot hide what you are. We will consume the shape of your stories. People screamed. Some fell unconscious. Ancient machines across the shell lit up. In defense, the weapon bound to Ren glowed fiercely. He stood tall. "No," he said quietly. "You won't take this planet." The ground shook, the shell roared, and the Solaris rose from the ocean again transformed. Alive, ready to fight. For the first time in human history, Earth stood on the edge of being forgotten. But this time, they were ready to fight for their right to be remembered. Asterisk. Earth had never seen anything like this dot above the clouds. The Solaris hovered no longer just a warship, but something far beyond human design. It was a living engine of memory, glowing with light and shadow. Beneath it, the ocean boiled as alien towers rose into the sky, forming a defense grid powered by something no human could explain. And standing in the center of the shell, Captain Ren held the key. The weapon bound to his mind now pulsed with raw energy. His heartbeat echoed through it. His thoughts shaped it. His memories gave it power, but it came with a cost. Every time Ren called on the weapon, a memory vanished. A birthday, a laugh, a friend's voice. Gone offered his fuel. And yet, he kept going, because the shadows were here, from the rift above. Earth, the memory eaters descended. They had no ships, no forms. They moved like black mist, but wherever they passed, history burned. Entire buildings vanished from time. People screamed as their names were forgotten, even by their own families. Earth's defense systems fired, but the blasts passed through. The shadows like wind through fog. Dr. Yelna stood at the control center trembling. They're not attacking. They're unmaking us. Ren stepped forward. He raised his hand, and Earth's new weapon answered. From the shell, a wave of golden light shot into the sky. It hit the nearest shadow, and for the first time in recorded Galactic history, one of the memory eaters screamed. The golden light didn't destroy it. It didn't burn it. It remembered it. It forced the creature to see itself, not as a god, not as a destroyer, but as what it had once been. A lonely thing trying to survive. The shadow twisted violently and burst into shards of black dust. Ren's mind burned. His knees buckled. Blood dripped from his nose. The weapon demanded more. To protect humanity, he had to give more of himself. Ran to him. "Ren, you can't. It's eating your mind." He smiled through the pain. "I don't need to remember everything," he said. "I just need to remember who we are." Around the world, the shell activated its hidden systems. Massive shields made of light rose from the ground, blocking the advance of the shadows. Cities once vulnerable were now protected by walls built from emotion and memory held together by human resilience. The Solaris joined the fight. It rose into the upper atmosphere and split into 3 smaller forms, each carrying fragments of the original ship's soul. They attacked not with guns, but with history. Every shadow they touched was forced to see memories they had erased, and it broke them. The Galactic Council watched from afar. Their fleets were useless. Their weapons failed. Their records began to vanish. One by one, Council worlds sent the same message. Earth, help us. Show us how to fight them. Ren heard the voices echo through the shell. He looked up, face pale, memories fading fast. He barely remembered his parents. He forgot the color of his old home. But one thing burned in his heart like fire. Humanity never gives up. He stood, raised the weapon, and shouted, "Remember us." The sky turned white. The golden waves surged across the planet, into space, into the rift. The light didn't attack. It remembered everything. It forced the memory eaters to see every life they had taken, every world they had wiped clean. They couldn't bear it. They fled. The rift sealed behind them. Silence returned. 3 days passed. The sky was calm. The Solaris returned to Earth, now silent and still, its purpose fulfilled. The shell slowly folded into itself and vanished beneath. The ocean, waiting for the next threat, and Captain Wren was found unconscious, weapon by his side, eyes closed, whispering names no one else knew. He had given up most of his memories to save the planet, but when he awoke days later, one memory remained: a girl laughing in the rain and a planet that still had a future. Across the stars, species spoke the name Earth with new respect, not because of its weapons, not because of its power, but because it remembered what others had forgotten, to fight for the stories that make us who we are. Asterisk.